Court dismisses suit to restrain CBN order for implementing Naira redesign policy. Can you imagine? So, Federal High Court at Awka in Anambra State has, dismissed that suit, and that means that federal government and CBN can go ahead and implement the Naira redesign policy. And this is against what the judgment and instruction that was given from the appeal court. Now, wow, this is war between CBN and federal government and the APC governors and APC party. Okay, I know that when that judgment was given last week, some people were happy with it, while the APC governors were happy with it, the masses were against it. And that called for the CJN to resign for being docile over such sensitive cases at his front. Okay, and then Malami had to, challenge that judgment, and then another case. I think another case was put again in Federal High Court at Awka, again to restrain government and CBN for implementing Naira redesign, which is second of that court case. Okay, and now the High Court, Federal High Court at Awka, had dismissed that case straight away, meaning it lacks merit. Let's see what they have to say about it. Court dismisses suit to restrain CBN orders for implementing Naira redesign policy. The Federal High Court Awka had dismissed the suit by the Incorporated Trustees of African Initiative against abuse of public trust, seeking to stop the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN). The Federal High Court, from implementing the Naira redesign policy. The Federal High Court at Awka had dismissed the suit by Incorporated Trustees of African Initiative against abuse of public trust, seeking to stop the Central Bank of Nigeria, its governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, and their agents from taking any step to enforce the implementation of the policy on the redesign of the Naira notes and no physical exchange of the old Naira notes, with the new notes without a clear policy on how to accommodate the over 50 million Nigerians without bank accounts. The plaintiff had on November 30th, on behalf of over 50 million Nigerians in different rural areas without bank accounts, dragged the defendant to the court in a suit marked Federal High Court FHC/AWK Awka and CS 19522. The court had directed the plaintiff to put the defendant on notice and adjourn the hearing of the motion on notice to January 19, 2023. Now, while the plaintiff had ND Ago as his counsel and Abia state-based lawyer, Chief Musa D. Tolani led the team of lawyers for the first and second defendants. At the resumed hearing of the suit on January 19, 2023, counsel for the plaintiff orally applied to discontinue the suit and withdraw some SIM based on undisclosed instructions from his client. But the first and second defendant lead counsel did not oppose the discontinuation of the suit and withdrawal of SIM. He, however, vehemently argued and applied for 50 million Naira as punitive cost to be awarded against the plaintiff. Hence, the first and second defendant had filed copious processes in response to the plaintiff's originating summons. According to the ruling of the court contained in the certified true copy of the enrolled order dated January 31, 2023, obtained by the Guardian Trial Judge A. Ngwajiwa, after considering the circumstances of the case and arguments of the counsels to the parties, ordered that the suit be struck out. The court also awarded the sum of 300,000 Naira as cost against the plaintiff in favor of the CBN and Mr. Godwin Emefiele, who are the first and second defendant respectively. Oh boy, court case. So this group filed a case in the court at Awka against a government, against CBN governor and the CBN itself, okay, to restrain them from implementing the Naira redesign policy because of over 50 million Nigerians in the rural areas that do not have bank accounts or access to banks. Okay, so with that, they also filed 50 million naira compensation for them as plaintiffs. Can you imagine? Are they looking for money, or they're looking to fight for the undefended? Okay. Now the case has been put before the court, and at the end of the day, it looks like the plaintiffs, the people that filed the case, are now asking to withdraw the case, even though Emefiele and his own lawyers or counsels did not, reject the discontinuation of the case. They also argued that they should also be compensated, and the case should be taken out. So at the end of the day, the case was unanimously struck out, and then the sum of 300,000 naira awarded against the plaintiff, the people that filed that case, okay, and then in favor of Emefiele and CBN. Wow. So 300,000 naira was awarded against Incorporated Trustees of Africa Initiative Against Abuse of Public Trust. Can you imagine? People just create organizations, create groups, and then begin to find a way to make themselves very popular. Very popular. So this case now is lost in court, and I'm sure that will be the end of that case. That case will never be challenged or brought to court again. Will never be continued by anybody. Okay. Meanwhile, the first order that was given by appeal court against CBN and federal government, in favor of the three governors, APC governors, is still standing, even though it's not being obeyed, because federal government and CBN, they are not backing down, and the Attorney General and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami also not backing down on implementation of the Naira redesign policy. February 10 is February 10. Even though several things have been happening, Kaduna governor has asked his people to spend the old Naira because it's still a legal tender according to the court order. And then the governor of Zamfara State has ordered the arrest and prosecution of anybody that rejects the old Naira. The news also came within the weekend, or over the weekend, how Ganduje, governor of Kano State, had to shut down a supermarket, the Wellcare supermarket, for rejecting the old Naira notes. Okay, and I think the owner of that supermarket also filed an apology to the governor, Ganduje, so that the supermarket can be reopened again. Okay, but again, across the federation, individuals kept on rejecting the old Naira note, because the question is, it's not about accepting the old Naira note for transaction. The question is, after all of this, will CBN give them chance, or give anybody chance to go and change it in the bank? Because if CBN closes the window, then it means that all the old notes that you have accepted in obedience to the state governors will remain in your hand. That is the truth. That is the truth. So it's quite unfortunate, okay, that we're in this kind of condition. I know that when two elephants fight, the ground suffers. That is what is happening to the masses. Okay, APC and their cohort fighting the CBN and the federal government on the other side as well. But then people are happy with the even though the suffering is so much, a lot of people have agreed that yes, let's do it so that we can provide a free and fair election this time around, because the people saying that they are fighting for the masses are actually fighting for themselves. They are looking for avenue for vote buying. They have stockpiled old currencies for vote buying, but right now they can't spend it. It's difficult to spend it, and the federal government is bent on making sure that Naira redesign policy is fully implemented and old notes shouldn't come out anymore. Wow. So this is the state of that case that was held in Awka, Anambra State, and the case is over. That is what it means. So let this organization that filed this case go back and do everything. People keep regretting their actions when they find that they can't move forward. So thank you for listening. Let's have your comment.